Okay, so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D's getting close to the end of its second season, so I thought I'd take some time to run through why the show's kicking all sorts of ass and heading the pack of superhero shows currently on air. There are spoilers in this video. It's really hard to explain why the show's so great without them. If you haven't been following the show, or at least been exposed to parts of the story, then just take my word for it that it's great and go watch it. 5 reasons why Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D is the best superhero series on TV at the moment. Reason number 1. It's not really about superheroes. Even though S.H.I.E.L.D is swiftly becoming the superhero known as Quake, and had been positioned as that since pretty early in the first season, the central premise of the show is, as the name suggests, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The ensemble cast is really strong, even when occasionally the script or direction lets them down. This season, the show brought in a number of very new members, and only lost one, who, despite being portrayed by the very charismatic BJ Britt, was more or less a walking stereotype rather than a fully developed character. So characters like Coulson, May and Bobby are great. Even the once annoying Fitzsimmons, they're finally showing some growth, based probably on not being inseparably joined at the hip. Even the bad guys are entertaining with, landing Kyle MacLachlan as Cal or Dr. Hyde. That was a great move, and, he joins the marvellously Faye Rayner, portrayed by Ruth Negga. Now, while there are more and more superpowers coming to the fore, the main focus of the show remains the agents themselves, and that's really important. Reason 2. It knows its place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, after some admittedly clumsy crossover work between the films and the series back in the first season, Agents has of late found its place in the wider MCU. The Winter Soldier storyline played through into the series, and as much as the films changed forever based on the Hydra reveal, the TV universe changed even more. After all, these are characters and stories that we see every week, so for such a game-changing event to happen and flow seamlessly through into the series was amazing. The cliched character of Ward turning out to be a bad guy was a masterstroke. It made him actually interesting instead of just a square-jawed muscle. Brett Dalton's acting performances once the character was revealed to be a traitor were outstanding. The role perfectly suited him. He's just so goddamn creepy as the evil Ward. Back to the point though, sure, you might get some name dropping every now and then by the series, but overall, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D manages to, bring in and be a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe without ramming it down the viewers' throats. Reason number 3, Inhumans. Now, following on from the Winter Soldier storyline, where Agents drew from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, now with the Inhumans storyline happening in the show, we should see the films drawing from this series. Marvel, it really trusts this show enough to rely on it to present the backstory to one of their films. And you just know that they're hoping the Inhumans to be as much of a surprise hit as Guardians of the Galaxy was. Now, I've mentioned the whole Sky Rayner thing a little bit already, and even though it was so heavily telegraphed, the reveal was amazing. Taking 2 characters we're so familiar with and revealing them to be of another race, imbued with these incredible powers, it could well have been a bit of a shark jumping exercise, but the show handled it well. It's obviously been in the pipe since the start, and to avoid the temptation to make Sky's powers something to do with computers was great. I did think the first season was a bit of a tease. They spent months dropping hints about the clairvoyant before it turned out to be Bill Paxton's traitorous Agent Garrett pulling the strings. So for the show to smoothly move into actually bringing in some superpowered characters, it's really impressive. Reason number 4, brutal fight choreography. Fight choreography, particularly on TV shows, is often done in a very flashy, showy sort of way. Arms and legs go waving around everywhere. There's lots of pointless flips and spins, that sort of thing. When a series resists turning it into interpretive dance, it often goes too far in the other direction, and they just have moves that look like they should have come out of Dick Tracy. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D gets the balance right, and the fights are pretty bloody brutal throughout the series. And it's been like that since day one. We see the environment being used in fights a lot, and it never really comes across as comical. It does help when you've got a total badass like Agent May as your main fighter. But the fights they're fantastic, and they always have been fantastic in this show. Reason number 5, the pacing. Now, I'd be the first to admit that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a touch weak in the first season. It was just like a procedural crime show without any substance. It really didn't seem to be going anywhere. And I think most of the viewers who abandoned it did so because they reasonably expected to be subjected to years of rambling storylines that really didn't advance fast enough. Well, since the Winter Soldier Hydra reveal, it's moved at an incredible pace. Even after the mid-season premiere, where it looked like Skye would be hiding her powers from the rest of the team for ages, it backed up the following week by letting the cat out of the bag really early. And it seems that it's continuing to move at this pace, which is fantastic. So essentially, Agents has come a long way since their early struggles. If you're still watching it, congratulations. Tell your friends and families. If you've never seen it or gave up after a few episodes, just read a recap up until about the 17th episode of the first season and then jump straight in after that. If you like Marvel, if you like comic books, if you like superhero stories at all, you'll love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Just give it another go.